আমরা আমাদের আজকের যে ফ্লেমস অফ হোপের সেশন 10, আমি সবাইকে এই 10th সেশন অফ ফ্লেমস অফ হোপ এটাতে সবাইকে স্বাগত জানাই। I welcome you all to the 10th session of Flames of Hope, and today I will be speaking on the topic on doing good to the world. So in our last class, and today also this class will be in English, and also as usual, if there is any question, you can freely ask your questions, your doubts, and the questions may be in English, in Bengali, or in Hindi or Assamese. So you are all welcome to ask questions in these 4 languages, and I will try my level best to give your answers, to provide answers to your questions. And in our last session, in the 9th session, we were discussing about this very topic on doing good to the world, and there we could not complete the whole topic. So today it will be the second part of the very topic on doing good to the world. So before entering into the discussion, I would like to recapitulate some main points of last day's discussion. And in this, Swami Vivekananda, this is the book of Swami Vivekananda, Vedanta, Voice of Freedom, and I am reading from that. There, in this topic on doing good to the world, Swami Vivekananda asks that we are asked, what good is your religion to society? That is a very common question, as I said in my last discussion, in our last discussion, that what does your religion do good to the society? But we must always remember that this society is not the yardstick of religion, or measuring the morality or the depth of my religion, because it is a gradual process. This society is yet to come to a state where we can think selflessly, and real religion is, or it speaks of an essence which is beyond this phenomenal world, which is beyond the things that we see, that we normally see or feel, or the way we see, because till now this world is full of selfish thoughts and all these things that we see in our day-to-day life. So this society where we live, where there is full of jealousy, full of hatred, full of envy, this can never be the yardstick of my religion. So Swami Vivekananda says that it is like a child asking to a scientist that the observations that you are doing, or the experiments that you are doing in your laboratory, will it enable me to, or is it really, can it really give me a good chocolate? So as the scientist will not have any answer, because it's an absurd question. There is no connection with the experiments of the scientist to that of getting a chocolate for the child. Similarly, these questions, that what good does your religion do to this society, these questions are similar. And Swami Vivekananda goes on further to say that this is monstrous. These types of questions are monstrous, but we still see and we still find these questions being asked, that what are you doing for the society? So there, and Swamiji says that in order to, this world it's a mercantile, means it's it's not in a position where it can decide the truth or the, where it can validate my religion. This society is not yet ready to that extent where it can measure the depth of something which is beyond any selfishness, beyond the touch of envy or hatred. So today we will continue with the next part of on doing good to the world. Swami Vivekananda says, we need to have three things. This Swamiji, time and again, Swamiji stressed on this. He says that we need to have three things to really do something good, to really, do something for the world. There is a very beautiful verse in the Upanishad, that is Atmana Mokshartham Jagat Hitaya. That is, which is also the motto of the International Vedanta Society, that liberation of the self or salvation of the self and well-being of the universe or welfare of the universe. So the very first thing that we need to do is to realize the self, liberate ourselves, and then come to the next point, well-being of the universe. So the very first thing we have to do is realize the self. We have to realize, or we have to manifest the divinity which is inherent within us. We have to manifest our divinity. And after that, once we manifest the divinity, then we become ready, we become eligible for doing something good to the world. And Swami Vivekananda says that for doing that you must need three things. What are they? The heart to feel the brain, the heart to feel, the brain to conceive, and the hand to work. The first thing we need is the heart to feel. That has been the main, aspect on which Swami Vivekananda has time and again stressed on. He has time and again stressed on this heart which is capable to feel. Because if we cannot feel the pain, the agonies, the sufferings of people, we cannot work for them. So the first thing we need is the heart to feel, rather than the brain to think. Of course we need the brain to think, but the first thing that we need is the heart which can feel for the people, out of which wonderful work will come. So the first thing needed is the heart to feel. Second, the brain to conceive. The brain which will conceive the things, which will comprehend, which will make out ways to carry out the work. And then the work, what we want, the actions that we do, that we perform. So the first thing, but again I say, the first thing which is very much important is the heart to feel. If we don't have the heart to feel, then the work will be more mechanical than, something which is really beautiful. So the very first and the most important factor is the heart which can feel. So the heart to feel, the brain to conceive, and the hand to work. First, we must go out of the world and make ourselves fit instrument. That is what is known as Atmana Mokshartha. That is, first, what does Swami Vivekananda says? First, we must go out of the world. We have to transcend the world. As I said, the real essence of religion is something which is beyond the world, beyond what we see, what we feel, what we conceive. So, the first thing, we have to take out some time for ourselves, go deep into our mind, and manifest the divinity, manifest the hidden, inherent divinity within us. So that is the first and foremost thing, because out of that everything else will come. But normally we think that we have to jump into the society to work, but it will not help. We will make chaos, we will create chaos than helping others. So first we must become fit instruments. First we must make ourselves fit instruments to work for the benefit of the society, to work for the real welfare of the society. So we have to take out some time, go out of this world to make ourselves fit to work for this world. And that is why Swami Vivekananda says, first we must go out of the world and make ourselves fit instruments. Make yourself a dynamo. Feel first for the world. You have to feel first. And out of this feeling, out of this empathy, this feeling of oneness with others, there will, come out wonderful works. It will generate like a dynamo. It will generate wonderful activities, wonderful actions. So first we must become like a dynamo. We must be able to feel before doing something. But that is, the irony, that whenever we go to work for the world or whenever we want to do something good, we just jump into it before making ourselves fit instruments. And that is why, to make ourselves fit for carrying out something or doing something good for others, that is very important, to take out some time and make ourselves eligible for doing something good. Feel first for the world. At a time when all men are ready to work, where is the man of feeling? When everyone is ready to do something, you must have that, tendency of your mind that no, at the very first instance, I must not jump into action. I must first make my heart so broad so that I can feel for others. So that out of that feeling will come the actions. And that is why in the sadhana which Bhagavan has given unto us, the 12 divine points which Bhagavan has given unto us. He has time and again reiterated on this very point. অভ্যাস করতে হবে ভালোবাসার, বাড়াতে হবে হৃদয়। You have to practice love. You have to expand your heart. ভাবতে হবে পরের কথা। You have to feel for others. You have to think for others. And that is why he always used to say, it is not so important how much you can do for others, but what is more important is how much you feel for others. Because out of that feeling, out of that expansion of your heart, out of that sympathy and love for others, will come wonderful works which will create wonders. So Swamiji says here that at a time when all men are ready to work, where is the man of feeling? Where is that person who can really feel? Who can really feel for others? And then what? Everyone is ready to work. But at the end, what happens? It all comes down to name and fame. So before that, we must make ourselves fit. So where is that man to feel? Where is the feeling that produced an Ignatius Loyola? Ignatius Loyola was a theologian and a priest of Spain who was a soldier, and he later gave up all the luxuries, gave up all his clothes and everything, all his fine things to the poor people, to the poor and downtrodden, and became a priest. So where is that? That even I'm ready to give up my own things. Where is that feeling? Where is that feeling of empathy? So he says, where is the feeling that produced an Ignatius Loyola? Taste your love and humility. What does he say? Taste your love and humility. You know, it seems that, okay, I'm full of humility and I love persons, I love everyone. It feels so, it seems so. But we cannot understand this intensity of our love or humility until and unless we come face to face with adversities. That is what is known as tasting our love and humility. Like 10 of our friends, we go together and we do, wonderful work, we do many things. And then the next day, it's in the paper that, such and such persons, they did so many beautiful things and did many beautiful works. But then all of a sudden I see that my name has not been published. They have missed out my name. Then comes the test of my love and humility. What happens? What do I see? I see that I have that jealousy that, oh, all my friends, their names have been published and my name is not published. Suddenly, the love, the feeling for others, that I did really something good for others, I wanted to do something good for others, that vanishes in the air. That vanishes in the air. And what comes is jealousy. Why did not they publish my name? Why has my name been left out? So Swamiji says, taste your love and humility. See that even if your name is left out, do you feel the same love? Do you feel the same humility? Do you feel the same empathy that I did not do it for name and fame? Never mind if my name has been left out. But they are really fortunate if this happens to them. Normally with 99% of the people, things happen in the other way. We become jealous or we become envious. And that is why Swami Vivekananda says, taste your love and your humility. Taste your love and humility. That man is not humble or loving who is jealous. So if I see this jealousy, then it is not love. In love, there will be no jealousy. In humility, there will be no jealousy. The man is not humble or loving who is jealous. Jealousy is a terrible, horrible sin. And Swami Vivekananda has time and again, he has, time and again stressed on this fact that we the peoples, particularly Indians, he said, that you cannot work together, even if it is for a good cause, if it is for a noble cause. 10 of you cannot come together and do a good work, because what begins is jealousy and hatred and envy, all these things happen. And a good work is ruined in no time. And that is why Swamiji says that there is no, means that person is not noble or loving if there is jealousy. So first we have to see this. We have to root out this from us, from our hearts. Jealousy is a terrible and horrible sin, because this has brought many great things, many great services, many great, works to an end. So that is why it is a terrible and horrible sin. It enters a man so mysteriously. As I said, like this example which I gave, that we go to a certain place and we distribute foods and clothes and something, a group of 10 persons, and then we see that my name is missing on the next day in the newspaper, and then I see what my real feeling is, whether it is love, it is the nobleness or the humility, or jealousy that comes up, that surfaces. Ask yourself, does your mind react in hatred or jealousy? I have to ask myself that if I see this jealousy and hatred, how does my mind react? I see someone, saying ill of me or speaking ill of me, and suddenly I react. Why do you say so? Did I really do this? So I have to look at myself, whether really I am fit to do something good for others. Whether or not I react to this jealousy and hatred. When I will attain that state of mind where I will see that no matter what one speaks of me, ill or good, never mind, my work is to do or to act for the welfare of others, then my work will have some impact. It will be a real work. So I have to ask myself, test myself, how I react to these things, to hatred, to jealousy, to envy, how I react, how I feel. And when I will see that I am unperturbed, I am not disturbed at the least when someone speaks ill of me, or when I see someone hating me, still I feel the same love to work for the people, then I have become fit to do something good, not before that. So doing good, we see everywhere, people doing good, but doing really good is really very tough. Swami Vivekananda says so. And it is so very true. Ask yourself, does your mind react in hatred or jealousy? Good works are continuously being undone by the taunts of hatred and anger that are being poured out on the world. Good works. We start something good, we come together and we say we will be doing good, we will be doing these and that, these welfare activities, that welfare activities, and then people come and then these things happen, this envy, jealousy, and this comes up, in the long run. And all the good works that we do, they are being undone. By what? By taunts of jealousy and hatred, which are being poured out every day on this world. So, first, I have to vaccinate myself. I have to vaccinate myself so that I am not affected by these negativities. If you are pure, if you are strong, you, one man, are equal to the whole world. See how beautifully he says that if you are true to your backbone, that yes, I really want to do something good, and for this I make myself a fit instrument. I try to manifest the inherent divinity within me, and I attain a state where I do works or I do something really from my heart, from the feeling of empathy, being unattached to name and fame, being untinted by any hatred, jealousy, or envy, then I alone am equal to the whole of the world. The very same echo of this we find in the words of Swami Pavitrananda ji, the master of Bhagavan. He says that the power of one realized person is more than the power of thousands of ignorant persons put together. The same thing we see here, that Swami Vivekananda says that if you are pure, if you are strong, you, one man, are equal to the whole world. The brain to conceive, the next condition of doing good work, is only a dry Sahara after all. You see, Swamiji says, this comes to the second point, the brain to conceive. But he says, the brain to conceive is not so important as the heart to feel. He compares the brain which is able to conceive. He says that it's like a dry Sahara, it's like a desert. without any water. The heart makes this desert beautiful. It makes it green, lush green, and full of water and fruits. Else, if I have only a brain which can conceive without the feelings, without a heart to feel, it is like a dry Sahara. The brain to conceive, the next condition of doing good works, is only a dry Sahara after all. It cannot do anything alone unless it has the feeling behind it. It cannot work in the right way if it is not aided or supported by the heart which can feel for others. Take love which has never failed, and then the brain will conceive and the hand will work righteousness. Swami Vivekananda says, take love, and this love, where to take it from? You don't find love in the market, that you go and buy love. You don't get love in a container that you open the container and bring out love from it. That love which you have to take out and then make it work is in ourselves. It is hidden within me. So I have to take out this love from within me. I have to bring it out. I have to churn it out. And this churning takes time. So I have to churn this love out from my heart. And then I have to do the work with the brain and then with the hands. But before that, I have to fill it with love. And this love never fails. This love never fails. I remember, once while going for a morning walk with Bhagavan in our ashram where we were initiated, where we embraced sannyas. A morning, in one particular morning, Bhagavan was, he went out for a morning walk and I accompanied him. He took me with him. And then he said, as in the, morning and also in the evening, we chant this Nirvana Shtakam of Adi Shankaracharya, where it says that Shivaham, Shivaham. So Bhagavan said that, do you know what is Shiva? That you chant every day, Shivaham, Shivaham, that I am verily the Shiva. Do you know how it is? Then he explained it so beautifully. He said that, see, you have to work for the people. Work for their well-being. And then for whom you will work, they will try to harm you when there, is a slight thing of selfishness. They will harm you, they will try to harm you. They will hurt you. And then again, after absorbing that injury, which is of course mental, you have to absorb it, accept it, absorb it, and then again work for his well-being, knowing that he will again hurt you. That is what is Shiva. That is what is becoming fit instrument. And I just wondered how hard it is that I will help someone and in return he is going to hurt me, and I will not only tolerate it, I will accept it, absorb it, and again try to help him, knowing that he will again in return hurt me. It is very tough. Very, very tough. It's easier said than done. But only when we come to a state of this, we attain this state, that we can really do something good for the others, which I have seen in my life Bhagavan doing. He was hurt innumerable times, even by us. Innumerable times. But again, after absorbing it, taking some time to absorb the poison, he again got ready in order to help others. I have seen it myself. Not once or twice, but innumerable times. So that is what is making ourselves fit instruments for doing something good. Here I remember a story, which is a small story, but it's very hard. That once a disciple along with his guru, they went to a river as they usually did for having bath. So first the disciple he took bath and he came out of the water, and then the guru went to have his bath, to take bath. And when he was about to enter the water, he saw a scorpion drowning in the water, trying hard to save itself, but it was drowning gradually. So the guru, he took up the scorpion and tried to place it on the land. And while doing so, the scorpion bit it. So he was feeling the sting, because the sting of the scorpion is very, very hard. It's very poisonous. And again the scorpion fell on water. And again it was drowning. When it was drowning, again the sannyasin, he took up the scorpion and again placed it on the land. And again while placing it, it again stung it. It bit it. And unfortunately, the third time it fell in the water. And then the sannyasin again went, took the scorpion in his hand and put it on the land. And all these things, the disciple was seeing it from a distance, just standing near him. He said, "Guruji, what are you doing?" He said, "Why?" He said, "You are trying to help this little creature which is going to drown, and you are trying to help it and it's biting you. And you are there again trying to help it. Again it's biting you. You are doing it for the third time. What is it?" Then the guru said that, "See, it is his nature to bit, and it is my nature to help." It's very hard that I will go on helping someone, and the person whom I help, he will hurt me time and again. And then I again become ready to help the person. To a normal mind, so-called normal mind, it will seem to be very foolish. That you are a foolish, perfect foolish, or an idiot to do so. Someone hurting you time and again, and you getting ready to do the same work again and again. But that is not so. That is not foolishness. That is what is known as selfless love. If I give up when I am being hurt once, then it means that I have expected something from him. At least, if not something that I expected, he will not harm me, or he will not hurt me. I don't expect anything. I will act according to my nature, and like the scorpion, it will act according to its own nature. But it is, as I said, it is easier said than done. But that does not mean I am discouraging. I am also trying, because it's the process of a lifetime. But that does not mean that I will not help others in the meantime. I will. I will. So I was looking at Bhagwan in all wonder. I was thinking that that is the real meaning of becoming Shiva. And how hard it is. Even in the life of Swami Vivekananda, we see that those people who are being benefited by Swami Vivekananda, they are speaking ill of Swami Vivekananda. In his letters we find in the letters of Swami Vivekananda. And Swami Vivekananda is not rebuking them or abusing them. He is praying for them. Take love which has never failed, and then the brain will conceive and the hand will work righteousness. Sages have dreamed of and have seen the vision of God. The pure in heart shall see God. Sages have dreamt and they have seen the vision of God. Sages means the seer of truth. They have seen God, they have seen the truth. And that is why it is said that the pure in heart shall see God. Those who are pure in heart, they will see God. And that is why purification is a very important process in spirituality. Purification means not wearing good or new clothes. Purification means to get rid of the negativities which are in our mind or in our heart. To get rid of jealousy, hatred, envy, and to immerse ourselves in the thought of the Supreme. That is what is known as purification. And that is so very important. Cleansing of the mind, purification of the mind. The pure in heart shall see God. All the great ones claim to have seen God. The great ones, the self-realized person, they claim to have seen God. Seen God here means it's not like we see each other. It's not seeing with our normal eyes. Here seeing means feeling Him, experiencing Him, experiencing the entity or the identity of God or the Supreme, and identifying myself one with Him. That is seeing Him. All the great ones claim to have seen God. Thousands of years ago has the vision been seen, and the unity that lies beyond has been recognized. And now the only thing we can do is to fill in these glorious outlines. Thousands of years ago, this truth have been felt. It is not that it is new. That is why it is said that it is ancient, Puratan. It is Shashvata, Puratan. It is ancient because this truth has been felt from the ancient times. The sages have felt them, experienced them for themselves. So all the thousands of years ago has the vision been seen, and the unity that lies beyond has been recognized, that beneath all this diversity that we see in our day-to-day life, there is one underlying oneness, which the sages have recognized. And that very underlying oneness is known as Atman or Brahman or God or truth or consciousness, whatever name you can give. So long ago, this vision has been seen and this truth, underlying truth, has been recognized. And now what we can do? We can just draw the outlines. Because the main thing, the gist, the essence, it is always there. It is always there. It is not something new. The sages have, thousands of years ago, they have said that I have known the ancient, the self-effulgent being. So what I can do is that I can experience it myself and say that yes, what they have said is correct. That I can do. There is no new truth. I can experience that truth for myself. And I can only say that yes, what they have said, what they have uttered, what they have proclaimed is verily true. That the self-effulgent being, the supreme, it can be realized, it can be seen, it can be experienced, and one can identify himself or herself one with it and cross the barriers of this world, cross the barriers of death. I can just draw this outline. The truth has been spoken of, if it can be said in this world, because the truth, you can never speak the truth because it can be realized, it can be experienced, but never spoken of. But yes, it has been expressed in different ways, with different terms, with different terminologies. And what we can do is that we can say, yes, whatever has been said is true. It's like, in our childhood days, when we were in class 8 or 9 or 7, something like that, we were given to solve mathematics that prove that left hand side is equal to right hand side. So it has already been said that left hand side is equal to right hand side, but you have to prove it. You have to solve the sum and then prove it that yes, LHS equals to RHS. Similarly, the truth has been spoken of thousands of years ago. The sages have proclaimed it. What I can do is realize it and say that yes, what they have proclaimed is true. So with this, I end this topic. The topic comes to an end, but I have a question. I don't know if any one of you have any question or not. If you have, you can just raise your hand or you can ask questions if you have. But I have one question with me. It's in Bengali. So it says that ধ্যানের গভীরে কিভাবে প্রবেশ করব? রোজ ধ্যানে বসছি, কিন্তু সেই ফিলিংটা তো আসছে না যে বাইরের জগতের কোনো আওয়াজ কানে বা মনের ভিতর প্রবেশ করবে না। সেই ডুবে যাওয়া, সেটা আসলো না কেন? সেটা আসে না কেন? সেই ডুবে যাওয়া, সেটা আসে না কেন? তা এখানে আমি বলতে চাইবো যে ধ্যানের গভীরে প্রবেশ করতে গেলে আমাকে নিত্য ধ্যানের অভ্যাসটা করতে হবে। এবং এখানে আপনি লিখছেন যে রোজ ধ্যানে বসছি, কিন্তু রোজ বসা মানে 1 মাস বা 2 মাস বা 3 মাস তা নয়। এই মনকে ধীরে 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 বসাতে হবে এবং এটাকে নিত্য প্রতি অভ্যাসে আমাকে পরিণত করতে হবে। এবং যখন আমার এটা নিত্য প্রতি অভ্যাস হবে, যেমন যেমন আমার মন শান্ত হতে থাকবে, তেমন তেমন আমার বাইরের আওয়াজগুলো কমতে থাকবে। মন যখনই চঞ্চল হবে, এই যে আমি এখনো বাইরের আওয়াজ শুনতে পাচ্ছি, তার মানে আমার মন এখনো ততটা শান্ত হয়নি বা সেই জায়গায় পৌঁছয়নি যেখানে পৌঁছলে আমি আর বাইরের জগতের কোনো আওয়াজ আমার কানে আসবে না। তাই আমার মনকে শান্ত করতে হবে এবং মনকে শান্ত করবার উপায় এই যে আমরা বেদান্ত চর্চা করছি বা এই যে আমরা জপ ধ্যান ধারণা করি, এটা ইজ মাস্ট। এই ধ্যানের চেষ্টা আমাকে রোজ করতে হবে, নিত্য প্রতি অভ্যাস আমাকে করতে হবে এবং এই করতে করতে আমার মন একটু একটু করে শান্ত হবে। কেন? এই মন জন্ম জন্মান্তরের মন, এই চিরচঞ্চল মন, এই মনকে শান্ত করা কিন্তু অত সহজ না। রোজ ধ্যানের অভ্যাস করতে 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 আমি দেখব যে ধীরে ধীরে আমার মন আগের চেয়ে শান্ত হয়েছে। এখানে আমাকে দেখতে হবে, এই যে আপনি লিখছেন যে রোজ ধ্যানে বসছি, তো দেখতে হবে যে আমি আজকের থেকে যদি আমি 6 মাস ধ্যান করে থাকি, তা 6 মাস আগে ধ্যান করতে বসে আমার মনের যে অবস্থাটা ছিল 6 মাস পরেও কি একই অবস্থা আছে? যদি দেখি যে না, আমার মনের একই অবস্থা নেই, একটু বেটার, একটু আমি শান্ত হয়ে বসতে পারছি। কেন? প্রথম দিকে তো বসাই যায় না, প্রথম দিকে মিনিট খানেকও বসা যায় না, মন এতটাই চঞ্চল থাকে যে উঠিয়ে দেয়। সেখান থেকে আমাকে দেখতে হবে যে আমি বসতে পারছি কিনা। প্রথমে মন শান্ত হওয়ার দূরের কথা, প্রথমে আমাকে দেখতে হবে আমি বসতে পারছি কিনা। যখন আমি দেখবো যে হ্যাঁ, ধীরে ধীরে আমি 10 মিনিট 15 মিনিট 20 মিনিট এইভাবে আমি বাড়াতে পারছি সময় বসার জন্য, তার মানেই বুঝতে হবে মন আমার শান্ত হচ্ছে। কেন? আমি ফিজিক্যালি একটা জায়গায় বসতে পারছি। এই করতে করতে আরো গভীরে যখন যাব, তখন আমার মনও শান্ত হতে শুরু হবে। আমি সেটা বোধ করব যে আমার মন শান্ত হচ্ছে। এবং এটাই নিত্য প্রতি অভ্যাস করতে করতে একটা সময় যখন এটার গভীরতায় আমি আরো প্রবেশ করব, তখন আমি দেখব যে আমার বাইরের কথা বা বাইরের চিন্তা আমার কানে বা মনে আসছে না। কিন্তু ইট টেক্স টাইম। কিন্তু কতটা সময় এটা বলা মুশকিল, এটা নিজের নিজের উপর। যার যেমন তীব্রতা, যার যেমন আকাঙ্ক্ষা, যার যেমন ইচ্ছে তাকে লাভ করবার বা শান্ত হওয়া, তার তত তাড়াতাড়ি হবে। যার ইচ্ছেটা যত তীব্র, যার আকাঙ্ক্ষা তাকে পাওয়ার জন্য বা নিজেকে শান্ত করার জন্য যত তীব্র, সে তত তাড়াতাড়ি সেই জায়গায় পৌঁছাবে। তাই সময় বেঁধে বলা যায় না যে এত দিনেই হবে, এটা নোবডি ক্যান সে দ্যাট। তা আমাকে নিত্য প্রতি অভ্যাস করতে হবে। প্রথমে দেখতে হবে যে আমি বসতে পারছি কিনা, ফরে সাস্টেইনেবল পিরিয়ড আমি বসতে পারছি কিনা, 10 মিনিট হোক, 15 মিনিট হোক, 20 মিনিট হোক। এবং তারপরে আমাকে দেখতে হবে যে আমি যখন আরো এগোতে থাকবো, আমার মন ধীরে ধীরে শান্ত হতে থাকবে এবং এবং এমন একটা সময় আসবে যখন বাইরের কোনো কথা বা কোনো আওয়াজ আমার কানে আসবে না বা আমার মনে অন্য কোনো চিন্তা আসবে না। বাট হ্যাভিং সেড দ্যাট, আবার বলছি, ইট টেক্স টাইম। এটা একদিনে বা 1 মাসে বা কয়েক মাসেই হয়ে যাবে সেই ব্যাপার না। আর যদি কারো কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে আপনারা করতে পারেন। ইফ এনি ওয়ান অফ ইউ হ্যাভ এনি কোয়েশ্চেন্স টু আস্ক, ইউ মে। আর তা যদি না হয় তাহলে আমাদের সময় হয়ে এসছে। আমরা তাহলে আজকের সাথে সাথেই আমাদের সেশন 10th সেশন অফ ফ্লেমস অফ হোপ আমরা শেষ করব। এবং আপনাদের যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে আপনারা আমাকে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ করে জানাতে পারেন। যেমন আমাকে জানানো হয়েছে যে প্রশ্নটা এইমাত্র করলাম, তাহলে নেক্সট আমরা সেই প্রশ্ন আমাদের নেক্সট সেশনে আমরা বলতে পারব। আজকে যখন কোনো আর প্রশ্ন আমি দেখছি না, তাহলে এর সাথে সাথেই আমি আজকের সেশন শেষ করছি। ভালো থাকুন, সুস্থ থাকুন সবাই, এবং এই চিন্তায়, ঈশ্বরীয় চিন্তায় এবং নিজেকে এই কাজের জন্য, এই কর্মের জন্য, সত্যি সত্যি তার কর্মের জন্য উপযুক্ত করবার আমরা চেষ্টা করি। ভগবানের কথা আমার মনে পড়ছে, ভগবান বলতেন যে ঈশ্বরের কাছে প্রার্থনা করবি যে ঈশ্বর, হে ঈশ্বর, তুমি আমাকে তোমার কাজের জন্য যোগ্য করে তোলো। আমাকে নিজেও চেষ্টা করতে হবে এবং তার সাথে সাথে তাকে প্রার্থনা করতে হবে, সো দ্যাট আই ক্যান বিকাম দ্য ইনস্ট্রুমেন্ট অফ হিজ হ্যান্ড, দ্য ইনস্ট্রুমেন্ট অফ হিজ ওয়ার্ক। ভালো থাকবেন। জয় ভারত।